Shelby here with Tyler for your Monday recap episode, and what a weekend of Texas Tech sports it was, Tyler. Was it everything you hoped and dreamed college game day would be? We're going to talk about all of that. Obviously, the football team got a big win. It was kind of indominant and a little bit, I don't want to call anything boring that's a win, but that's how good we were and how much we controlled the game. But we'll recap that football, the experience, all of it. We have basketball. We have multiple games of basketball to talk about. 2 women's basketball games, one that happened just earlier today that we came from, men's basketball as well. All dubs, 3 dubs to talk about. We got some highlights from those. We will touch on volleyball at the end. They have a home game on Wednesday. If you'd like to go check out volleyball at 6 p.m., they're taking on West Virginia. Big one, though. There's no soccer in this episode because they haven't played since the last time we talked. But it's a massive week for Texas Tech soccer. The NCAA tournament starts this week, and they will be a host team because they performed that well this year. We don't know what their seed will be, who they're playing, or necessarily when yet until tomorrow as we're recording this. But Monday, about 3 p.m., I believe, on NCAA.com, they will be announcing the seeding for the NCAA soccer tournament. Texas Tech's probably in line to be a 3, 4, or 5 seed, somewhere in that range is my guess. They will host the first round, and we'll find out their opponent and when that'll be. Again, don't know the day yet, but it sounds like most likely Friday at 6 p.m.-ish is what the bid was put in on our behalf, but that doesn't mean we'll get it. It could be any of the days that they have them, but typically we played on Fridays. So keep an eye out for that. Be at soccer on Friday. And the tennis side of things, Haley and Kate over there on the doubles side tennis, they became the first Texas Tech doubles team to win ITA sectionals in program history, Tyler. The first. That's wild. So since they were co-champs of this tournament, now they're also qualified for the NCAA championships in doubles that will come up here in the next couple of weeks. So we'll keep you updated on that. But first is pretty impressive. So all the things are going on in Texas Tech sports. What a weekend, Tyler. Another big week ahead. I know you have all the pitches for women's basketball on Thursday and all the things, but are you alive as a student? I mean, y'all were like doing the damn thing all week. Like, bless you all. I'm tired just working. Y'all were like living out there, all the things. I don't partying it up. Good times. Got the dub. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're super tired and we are
Super tired.
we're pushing through, but it was such a great time to be alive and to be a student here at Tech. I mean, the investments that we made into all of our athletic programs. I mean, we're talking about soccer in the NCAA tournament. I mean, these tennis girls are doing great. Football got that big win in game day. Women's basketball and men's basketball both look like that they're trending in an upwards direction. Men's basketball, obviously, women's basketball looks like they could possibly be trending upward that way. So it's just super exciting. I'm just really glad that everybody was able to get their wins this week and to really today for women's basketball to really kind of be that exclamation point, as Gerlich said. They kind of started the weekend off and they ended the weekend off. So it was just a great
Sure.
overall week. But I'm very happy to be a Red Raider right now
Yes, it
because
was
that
a
could
great
change at any
weekend.
moment.
Well, yes, that's sports in general, but yeah, it was a great weekend. It was cool to see Texas Tech and Lubbock celebrated in the way that it was, and everyone be. It's like a little bit of a backhanded compliment when they're like, "Wow!" Like they were like shocked at how much they enjoyed their time in Lubbock and things like that. But that happens all the time. That's what we always say. Just come here, and you will see that people are just haters for no reason. The people, the atmosphere, it's all there, and it was really cool for Lubbock to get to experience that. We'll talk more about football in a minute, but my biggest takeaway from football was while the national media was kind of spitting it as like an end of a marathon and like this big thing and a culmination of everything that was happening this week, which is all true. To me, from the players and the coaches' standpoint, it was very clear to them that like they don't want this to be the end of anything. Like they want this to become the norm at Texas Tech. They want college game day to be here multiple times a year. They don't want it to be this big every 15-year celebration where it is that way. But I get that national storyline because that is the truth. But I appreciated that from the players and Coach McGuire after the game. It was very clear that he's like, yes, it is very great for the community and this big thing, but it's like this is the new Texas Tech football. This should become the norm in the future, and so it's not this big deal. But it was really cool for the weekend. And as students, though, I'm glad y'all got to experience that. And I hope it'll be a memory for life, no matter what. 20 years, 30 years from now, you'll be talking about it, Tyler, for sure. Women's basketball, before we get into the recaps, we will do a preview on their Thursday game it'll probably come out Thursday morning on that episode. That'll be heavy in soccer as well to preview their NCAA tournament. They play SMU. It's the first of 3 power conference opponents in a row. Again, we'll have the big preview on them on Thursday, but we want to go ahead and tell you to show up 6 p.m. at Thursday. Be there, support this team. They're undefeated. You could really help them get a big, potentially win over another tournament team now that'll really help their resume get on the line. An SMU team that should have and almost beat Kansas State just a couple of nights ago. They lost on a buzzer beater, had them beat really, and just kind of lost it at the end. So solid squad that we have a chance to get a good, quad 1, quad 2 win against, most likely based on where they finish up down there at SMU. Their coach is the coach that came over from Arizona that took Arizona to the national championship game not too long ago. She's now the coach at SMU and is trying to get them right. And they looked competitive against, Kansas State was picked to finish 6th in the Big 12, I think, this year or something. Picked to be a tournament team themselves. So we'll see. But that's my pitch. Tyler, you want to give them a better one, and then we'll get into the recaps of UTSA and Texas State.
Yeah, as Shelby said, it's going to be a really, really big game. I think that Charlie Cream, it's like one of the only teams in the non-con as of now that is projected to be into the NCAA tournament. I know that students, they're giving away a pretty cool Hub City t-shirt, whatever font or
Oh,
trend thing is trending. I don't know. It's some sort of
couldn't tell you.
t-shirt, but students, we need y'all to show up. So if you're listening, be there. And then fans, we need everybody to be there. Attendance has just kind of been hanging around in the 3,000s, and we really want to compete with the Big 12 and try to maybe beat up the Kansas States and the Baylors of the world and Iowa State. So I know y'all will
I'm
show
gonna
up and
need
support a winning program.
I'm gonna need at least 5,000 at that game. I'm calling. That's
Yeah,
not
that's what I'm
even a
good with
wild
that.
number. That's not a
No,
wild number at all,
it's
but that's a
doable.
doable number. So go to the
Be
game,
there.
bring some friends. If you're a season ticket holder, just show up. If you're not, buy a ticket for yourself and a couple of friends. Bring your own, and students just show up. At least 500 students get there. I don't know. Is that a large number? I don't know how many seats there are in the student section, but get out there and do the dang thing for them. We already recapped their first game of the year on our previous episode. If you'd like to go back and watch that. They followed that up with a win over UTSA, who won their conference last year, almost went undefeated in conference last year. They beat them 79-52. They do have a lot of new players. Obviously, we have one of their best players now on our team, all the things, but a well-coached team. Karen Aston, that's former Texas Longhorn coach, is over there. They do their thing. They're very physical, and that was a very physical game. Feels like a lifetime ago because of all the things that happened this weekend, but that's what I remember about the UTSA game. It was super physical. We had multiple technicals and things like that. Nothing nasty, but just like super physical and a little bit chippy play. And we kind of took over after that moment. We outscored them 40-14 after one of those double technical moments. Bailey herself took over in the fourth quarter, had 11 in the fourth quarter. But we had 4 players in double figures again, Tyler. Second straight game at that point. We go ahead and do that again in today's game. So every game this year we've had that. Sarah Sonogra had a good game in this. Jalen steady in this. She was in a little bit of foul trouble in this, but still got 10. Bailey had 19, and Snoda had 16. A little bit of a precursor to what she went ahead and did against Texas State. Still some things they got to clean up, but overall I was just impressed with the way that they kind of came together in that moment. Because I think I said on Twitter, I was like, in that timeout, I was like, it feels like this is going to be the turning point for one of these teams. Is someone's going to come out of this timeout and use this emotion to take over the game. And it was good to see that it was Texas Tech. They still had a double-digit lead, I think, at halftime. And after like an Adley Blacklock 3 or something, you'll see it in the highlights. But they really took over and dominated after that moment and just seemed to kind of like lock them in a little bit more, I would say. So those are some of my thoughts. We have highlights. We'll talk more about it. And then a clip from Bailey talking about that moment in the post game as well.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody really they had pretty good stat lines over in this game. It was really close. They were kind of hanging in with us, and I think the biggest thing I kind of took away was that we did kind of struggle against UTSA's aggressiveness almost. It seemed like that we were kind of struggling trying to find our rhythm with that just when they were kind of being all over us the entire game and the refs were all over us too during that game as well. But
Yeah.
other than that though, it was good after that timeout to kind of see us break things open, to see Bailey use her senior leadership in that moment and to really kind of break the game open. And then, I mean, Gemma Nunez. I mean, let's talk about her. 7 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. I think you pulled up the thing, and she's only one of 3 players to ever do that, right? Here at Texas Tech.
In recorded program history, the stats go back to like 1998 iffy. Past that, they say they go all the way back to 1981, but they're only like gonna stake their life on 1999. So maybe back to 1981, but for sure back to 1999. One of 3 players to do that. That's a silly stat line, and we told y'all in our season preview that that's what she's gonna do. She's a player that fills up the stat line, and that way she's a true point guard. She's really been doing a good job getting to the lane and scoring, and through contact, she's had a couple of and ones now, made some threes. So yeah, she's been everything and more. And just to on the pronunciation of her name, she does want to go by Hema or
Oh,
Jims.
yes.
Hema Nunez or Jims, I think is what her teammates call her, not Jimma. So we'll all work on that together. Because reading it is not how it should be pronounced. So Hema Nunez, yeah, she's been great. Just makes everything better for this team. She's really tough as well. Like she's one of the toughest players on the team by far. That moment where she got the ball loose and then dove,
Yes.
got the ball, controlled it, rolled over, passed it to Sarah Sonogo in transition, who finished it, was one of the loudest moments of the season so far in the arena because everybody recognized, like, that's the thing about Lady Raider fans, like they're ball knowers for the most part, and they recognized how big of a play that was, and that was also a part of that run to spark things. So yeah, him has been electric. And
Yeah, and also while we had our offensive production, I mean, honestly, the defense looked really great. We held
once again,
UTSA
yeah,
to only 14 shots. They shot 27% from field goal percentage wise. So really, I mean, defense did do what they wanted to do. They did their job. Yeah, it was close at first, but we just really had to get our offensive production going, and then that's why you have people like Snetta Collins, which came up big today when we get into the Texas State game. But that's why you have people like that that can come in there and to really just kind of help relieve some of our starters, especially when they get into foul trouble and things like that. Especially since Jalen Bristow also got into some foul, ended up fouling out in this game. So, you know, you needed other people to come in there and to kind of step up and kind of play around. Also, it looks like Mimi got her first points in her Texas Tech career in this game. So,
little free throw line jumper. We're here for elbow. It was
yes,
great. No hesitation.
it
Loved
was
it.
awesome. And yeah, Adley came in and made that big three. Danae looked solid in this game. Came up just shy of 10 points with 8. So I mean, other than that, like it was just like generally like just good performances. I mean, yeah, you wish you would have started off
Just
a little bit,
steady. Yeah.
yeah, bigger,
That's
but
the
we still came through
that's
though at the end.
that's the thing, and that'll extend into the Texas State recap when we get to that. Is they still haven't played like a perfect game. I mean, you're never gonna play a perfect game, but they still
Right.
have a lot of things they can improve on. But they're still blowing these people out by 30 points. I think the most they've allowed in a game now is 52 points. And UTSA just the other night almost beat Houston, who's a Big 12 team, again,
We
bottom
did.
of the conference team. Yes, but they're still a Big 12 team with a new coach and Big 12 athletes and power conference athletes. A lot of players that transferred in there, so that are trying to rebuild that program, and they almost beat them. And like, I think who was it that we played on opening night? Played TCU, and TCU beat that team by the same NCAA, but like basically the same amount that we beat them. So if you're kind of looking at that stuff, like we're right where you kind of want to be, I think, at this point in the year. So let's show you first the highlights, and then we'll got a clip from the post game as well for you guys. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. She's just an annoying little pest out there. To miss that shot and then go right away and just steal it back. Just, I love her. And then she made her 3. Love it. How about a good pass to the corner for Snutta? This was just kind of like a warm up for her for what she showed in the next game, but she did some good stuff. Jalen's been really good
Jalen,
attacking the rim this year. Like,
really,
she's
she
really
has.
aggressive. And she said that before the season that was like a point of emphasis for her, just to get to the free throw line more and be more aggressive. And you've seen it. I loved that in this game, at the end of the first quarter and the end of the second quarter, we had buzzer beaters. The execution this early in the season is good to see. Sarah was really solid this game, best game of the year. No hesitation, three, all of it, all
Jalen's
day.
confidence. Wow.
She shoots all of them. I just love how quick they're shooting this year. Like there's no one's afraid. I don't care if they miss it or make it. Everybody's shooting confidently, and that's like big time because they're good shooters. There's that one again at the
There we
end.
go, Adley.
After the game, Gerlich gave a shout out to Mimi in this moment because I had asked her how she thought Julie and Mimi did coming into the game because they both came in early in this one because of the foul trouble. And she mentioned Mimi in this moment because she sets a big screen to get Adley loose in that play. And she was talking about how, just to have role players still be able to come in those moments and high pressure moments and make big plays. So it was big for her. They weren't just getting like cheap minutes. So I think we've already gotten past the moment of the little blow up moment, skirmish, if you will. Look at that. I mean, caught it in the air, feet hit the ground and shoots it. That's just straight confidence all day. Get them up. Look, confidence. We love it.
Moppin, love that.
Bailey Maupin, by the way, passed Krista Gerlich on the all-time Texas Tech scoring list in this game,
Yep.
as well, on her way to 19 points in this. And I asked her after the game if she had let Coach Gerlich know about that, and of course Bailey was like, "Oh no, she let me know." And then Bailey just humbly said like she is just happy to be being like talked about in the same place that Gerlich is being talked about. It's kind of what she said. And then Gerlich, you can go watch the full thing, but she said basically that's why you bring them here. We bring players here to do that. She said, I hope that they go and win the next national championship at Texas Tech one day, and that she went on to give credit to Bailey for sticking and staying. And not a lot of people are going to set records anymore because they don't stay somewhere for 4 years. And it wasn't a shot at other people for that. She was just like speaking like that's just the truth of the matter in basketball. Like not a lot of people stay somewhere 4 years, so it's even more impressive that she did it, but also because she stayed. And as we talked about in the past episode, Bailey has a chance to get pretty high on that list because there's a lot of people kind of near her in the next few spots. So something to watch for her. Good for her. Big game. Again, Sarah was really solid in this game. We kind of need this from her in every game. And that number 25 there for UTSA calls herself the enforcer. And I thought Sarah did a pretty good job, the best she can at her frame, of kind of matching her intensity. And we just need to find a way for Sarah to match that intensity when she's not playing someone that calls themselves the enforcer. You know what I mean? I don't care if you're playing someone that's 5'5", you go be the enforcer at that point, So I think that's just what they're working on with her consistency wise. But she brought it in this game for sure. Oh, is that the end of the highlights? I don't know why they didn't put Gemma Nunes diving. That was the play of the game. Did I miss it? It's not in there. Anyway,
No,
y'all should go find it. That's wild. You should go find it somewhere yourself, but she made it great. They posted it individually on Twitter. Anyway, whatever. Not my job. But that was the play of the game, was that steal dive, and then pass to Sarah, and the arena went crazy. So that was that. After the game, I asked Bailey kind of what was going on in the huddle there was like just if you missed the game, they gave Danae a technical, which was a soft technical for doing the too small celebration, which is absurd. I haven't seen someone get a technical for doing that celebration in modern basketball ever. But I think what happened is the previous possession, the ref took like 3 business days to call a travel, and so Danae politely pointed it out to her, and I don't think she appreciated her needing to point it out to her, but like just blow your whistle so she doesn't need to point. Anyway, I need to stop. But anyway, she got a warning for that, and then right after that she did too small, and so she got the technical. Coach Gerlich said Danae came in the huddle and immediately apologized and said that she knew she shouldn't have done it because she had been warned, and she knows like she can't get to do that. So senior leader, you love that. But anyway, then that number 25, the enforcer, gave Danae a little bit of a love tap right after that. Teammate Jalen Bristow, which I appreciate the fight there, didn't appreciate that. So she really did give her just a small little shove. The girl fell back like she had been punched.
Oh my God, yeah, so dramatic.
Biggest flop of the year. But anyway, Jalen did put 2 hands on her. It was a very light tap, and the girl flew backwards, got a technical, and then they rightfully assessed that girl technical as well. I think for more of the push on Danae than anything. I don't know, but there was that moment happened. This long delay skirmish. You felt like something was going to change in that moment. For one team or another, Texas Tech outscored UTSA 40-14 after that moment in that game. That was midway through the third quarter. I asked Bailey after the game kind of what happened in the huddle and spurred on that, and this was her response, which was great.
It's just a matter of having your teammates' backs, and for Jalen and Danae to go out and put their bodies on the line and, you know, show that they care. That's only right for us to go back into the game and show them that we have their backs as well. We knew it was time to turn it on. You know, when things like that happen, you either rise to the occasion or you fall.
Bailey always has the quotes.
Yeah.
So it was great stuff there. Yeah. Just love the toughness of the team, the togetherness. This is not a perfect team. No team is at this point in the year, but I thought that was big to see. As far as like the refs and stuff, I think you're gonna get those refs again. I think honestly you got one of them again in the Texas State game. I'm pretty sure, and I think it's just one of those things where we're just gonna have to know they're a little bit reactionary and to just not talk to them. It was just frustrating to me because I feel like the only people talking to those refs were Bailey and Danae. And she was taking offense to that for some reason, and like, I don't know. But like Bailey and Danae are the captains. Like they're the two people on the team that are allowed to talk to the refs. That's the whole point of being the captain, the designated captain. And it's like she wasn't wanting them to talk to her, and then she was trying to prove a point through the reffing of it. It was just a little bit.
And she didn't prove a point because the UTSA girl missed both free throws, so the ball didn't lie.
Ball don't lie.
Yeah,
so
ball don't lie.
I don't know. I don't want to get too much into that. We should, not like Danae apologize or whatever to her teammates and stuff, but also I appreciate what Bailey said there too. They had each other's backs, so they got it out of there. I think sometimes that stuff's, as long as you get out with a win, it can be good for you in some weird way. But yeah, refs are gonna ref. They have a hard job, but I think if you get the crew again, maybe just need to keep our mouth shut because she's gonna be reactionary. Just something to note moving forward. I hate that, but that might be what's happening there. But yeah, any other final thoughts? We obviously could spend hours on all these games. You know how we are, but we have multiple games to talk about. But good win, toughness, got out rebounded again, which is continual. Not getting out rebounded, but just rebounding in general has been tough. And that was a game where we did get out rebounded. Something we'll have to work on. I think it's going to be a constant battle for this team. And it's going to have to continue to be a team rebounding effort. Your 5'6" point guard got 7 rebounds to tie Jalen Bristow for the lead in that game, I believe. If she's bringing it on the boards that way, I think that should spur some other people to do that as well, is what you hope. But yeah, that's probably But I thought that there was a very physical game, and they showed that they could handle that physicality, even if we are going to be undersized at times.
Yeah, they did. And, moving into the Texas State game, that was a game that started off super like physical and aggressive. They were really double teaming up Bailey in this game. And then it took a moment in the second, like to end the half, where we went on a 16-0 run led by the Snutta Collins, who ended up just starting it off with a layup and then a Bird 3 and then a Snutta 3 and then a Snutta layup and then a Snutta 3 and then a Jalen 3 assisted by Snutta. And that's what we needed.
After a Snutta block. Oh,
yes, after a Snutta block. It was quite the run, but like that run right there is what really made us break open the game and really just ruin all of Texas State's chances of trying to pull up an upset, because they were hanging in there they were hanging in there more than I would like. I was not super comfortable, but that's the kind of spurt you need in the game to, really do well.
Yeah, Texas State, they don't have much size at all, and they got really beat up in the paint in their first game of the year. But they do shoot it pretty well, and they just like to get up threes because they kind of know their personnel. And they had a girl in their first game of the year that hit, I don't know how many threes she hit, but she scored 34 points. Sanaya Burke. She's a sophomore. In high school, she was the leading scorer in the nation as a high school basketball player. And she is a sophomore there now. And she dropped 34 in their opening game, and most of it was from the outside. So as a team, they got really beat up defensively in the paint, though. So it felt like they were like, y'all aren't getting in the paint on us. And they were kind of like encouraging us to shoot from the outside. But they were also doubling our wing players, which ended up being Bailey or Danae. Anytime anybody caught on the wing, they got a quick trap double. And we struggled early to get out of that, to pass out of that. And we had some turnovers. Once we kind of started figuring that out, we started getting really open threes for other players. For Jalen in the corner, Danae had one at the top of the key. They weren't doubling at the top. They were only doubling on the wings. And so if we could get it to the corner or the top out of that, we had like a wide open shooter. It just took us a little bit to adjust to that. But we did. It did feel a little bit there like they were like, Bailey Maupin's not going to score 20 against us. Kind of like we were like, Sinai Burks is not going to score 30 against us. I don't know. But we had this year, that's the good thing about this team, is there was no panic on the floor about that. I don't think Bailey had a single field goal in this game, Tyler. All of her points came at the free throw line, and we won by 33. I'm not saying we wouldn't have won a game in that scenario in other years. I don't know that we would have won by 33. Like, you know what I mean? To still have 4 people in double figures and none of them be Bailey Maupin, I think is because they did finally figure out the trapping situation to get around and find open shooters and get it going. But yeah, absolutely the end of the half, first half was the kind of turning point of the game, if you will. Both defensively, I think Gemma had 2 steals in that period. Maybe Sydney Love, who we'll talk about more, made her debut. She might have been on the court during some of that, had some good moments, but we'll go ahead and show you this clip because I asked Gerlich about that kind of moment of the game and more specifically what parts of that they could replicate to kind of do that more consistently. As for a full game, you're not going to be able to score 16 points in 90 seconds, or you'd be the number 1 team in the country if you did that every 90 seconds. That'd be insane. But there's parts of that they could replicate moving forward, and this was her answer.
About energy and intensity, to be honest. We didn't feel like, and it's interesting, right? Like all 3 of these games that we've played well, and we've played with quite a bit of defensive intensity, but not always as sharp as we want it to be. As coaches, you know, you're perfectionists when you want your team playing and you want them to do it perfect every time, and we're not always going to get that. But when we get the perfect effort from them, they're going to be really, really tough. And I think that was kind of the perfect storm because we weren't shooting the ball really well before that 60 seconds either. And so I think when they get in the flow and their defense leads to their offense, it just gives you some momentum, as we like to call Mo. And I think they definitely got in a groove, and they'll be able to extend that type of energy and production as the season goes on.
There you go. I mean, nailed it, as like you would hope a coach would. So yeah, this is a really talented team, and you got to see it in that spurt. And Snudda is, wherever she's playing in the game, it doesn't matter if she's starting or whatever, she's going to bring that energy. And she said the other day after the UTSA game that she felt like while she was producing well, there was still more she could do, especially earlier in the game. And she jumped out for 12 points during that run, as Tyler illustrated. She ended up with 20 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of blocks. Man, she can really get up there on the defensive end. When she finds herself in the paint, she's not afraid to get up there and challenge somebody, which I love about it. Jalen Bristow, just quietly, Tyler. I feel like we don't. She's gonna be like the Macy Black. I mean, those are big words, but you know how we're always like, oh, I feel like we're not talking about Macy Blackburn enough in soccer. Right. It's like, man, I feel like we're not talking about Jalen Bristow enough because it's just like, oh, Jalen Bristow with another 22 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and 3 blocks tonight.
So
like,
casual.
She had like 10 points in the first quarter, really set the tone of that game. And you know, you talked about how it was a little bit of a slow start. Like if Jalen's not doing what Jalen does, like you might be down at the end of the first quarter. That's like she's that big of an X factor. We said she's an X factor for the season, and that's why it might take some other people some time to settle in when she has a mismatch like she did in this game. This team didn't have a lot of size. I think they had some really good quickness. I think you could say that Texas State had some guards quickness wise, first step wise, that you will see in the Big 12 or in these power conference matchups coming up. They just didn't have the size at the guard level or anywhere, or they would probably be at the power conference level. But first step, quickness wise, I was very impressed with their guards. Actually, I didn't expect that. But she had a size advantage like over everybody out there, and she was really taking it to the basket aggressively. And then she made 2 threes in the first quarter as well, and just kind of broke out from there and just was steady the rest of the way. So she was great. Danae Fritz was, I know Tyler loves plus or minus.
I love it.
I know. So she was plus 31 in this game, which was maybe like 7 points higher than anybody else. Had 10.6 rebounds. Probably really wasn't the most efficient offensive game if you asked her, but I really liked how aggressive she was. Like, she was getting to the basket quite a bit. Every time number 11 for Texas Tech just couldn't stay in front of anybody on our team, and it felt like she started identifying that matchup, or that girl started guarding her more in the second half, and so she started taking her. Danae's going to make those shots more than not. She could have easily had 20 points in this if she made a few layups in this game, maybe, and got some and ones. But she still was plus 31 because of what she brought energy-wise and defensively on that Sanaya Burks girl that I mentioned. So I asked Gerlich just for Tyler after the game, because I know he loves plus or minus, what she thought about Danae. And yeah, she said that she thought Danae had a really good game, and that when it came to Burks specifically, they wanted to keep her to single digits, but it was, as much as it was Danae on her, which she was, it was also a team defensive thing, because they needed to do their job on the other side of the court, so Danae didn't have to help. Because if she was having to help defense, she was going to have to get out and recover, which you saw in the first possession of the game, because Sanaya hit a corner 3 to start scoring for Texas State. And Gerlich said we were not very happy about that on the bench, because that was the whole game plan. But then after that, they kind of settled in defensively and asked the players individually if they took that personally about going up against a player that dropped 30. And Snudda just gives great quotes. Short, concise, to the point. But the girls said no one should be scoring 30 points on us. Basically not in our house. It's not going to happen against us. And Sydney Love basically said the same thing. So yeah, big stuff there. You know what? I'm going to let Tyler talk about Sydney Love, because she also was a breakout player, but that's, that was his portal diamond of the year. So you take it away and talk about Sydney, who had a great breakout game in her first debut of the year for Lady Raiders.
Yeah, I thought that Sydney coming in today was very important for us to just kind of see a different look, and that's kind of what Coach Gerlich said. Both Hema and Sydney get to the basket in very different ways, and Sydney's definitely going to be more of your player that's going to almost go to the basket more aggressively and have more craft, if you will. And that's what she did. She had 12 points, but a lot of them she went 3 for 3 from the 3-point line today. Super big, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. She had 1 big 3 that really did open up the scoring for us in the game. And I just thought that she looked really good to just have that option either as the 1 or the 2. There was a lineup where she was playing that 2 spot and Hema was playing the 1. And it just seemed like that, it was working whenever Bailey wasn't out there, right? And it's just good to have that kind of depth. Like Gerlich made the comment in the post game. It's almost like, when our bench comes in, like it's almost like it feels like you almost are getting better, and that's how it needs to be. Like, it's a very competitive locker room. Everyone's vetting for spots. So to have Sydney back after whatever injury that she was battling the past 2 weeks or so.
I don't think it was injury, which is
Oh, was it an injury?
in some ways a good thing. Did you notice the glasses she was wearing?
Yes, she looked pretty cool, like a superhero almost. Like
oh my god, super cool! I was like, this is a vibe. Which I asked her about later, so we'll get to that. But on the radio,
okay.
So take it for what they said. But they said, I listened to the pregame, and they said that she's been dealing with migraines, and the glasses are to help with that.
Okay.
Got to get those over. We need to send them up to Caitlin Clark, right? She always has issues with migraines.
Yes.
Our training staff figured something out, because that girl went 4 for 4. Gerlich joked in the post game that she needed to hand them out to the whole team when I asked Sydney about it, and she was like, "Oh, I'm getting used to it." I was like, "Used to it, Sydney? You were 4 for 4." And Gerlich was like, "Yeah, we might need to hand them out to everybody." But no, that's a look right there. I want us to go do all the things and make it to postseason, because she's gonna become like a folk hero with those glasses. All the kids are gonna be wearing them. Everybody was wearing mustaches at the football game for Jacob. You're
Yeah,
gonna
we're all
give
gonna
people
get
a
sunglasses.
reason to. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna text him right now. My friend Mateo Nomeo, as y'all know him, hasn't been doing his sunglass thing.
Oh yeah, the Pit Vipers.
He would have been. I'm about to text him right after we're done. Be like, we have that. He's been less active on Twitter, so we get to be adults and we get busy this year. But I'm gonna be like, you have to come back and do Pit Vipers because one of the girls actually wearing shades. It would have worked. You could have given it to her tonight. But anyway, she's gonna be an icon, both for her play and her style out there. So, but yeah, that's what it sounds like. Is it's a migraine thing, which is tough.
Okay.
But the lights or the glasses, the way they're tinted, the red, whatever, helps her with the lights. So she's getting used to it. And in some ways, that's a good thing because you don't want it to be a structural thing.
Right.
Migraines are tough there. I can't imagine. It's one of the few ailments I haven't had to face in life, but hate that for her. But she certainly looked good tonight. So
For sure. And also going off of talking about our bench depth as well, one of the reporters asked in the press conference to Snudda, talking about like, how does it feel like, being that sixth woman off the bench, like you weren't starting in this game. And Snudda gave a very direct and clear answer. She said, if you're a winner, you don't really think about that.
let's go.
Love that.
Man,
Love
I
that.
have to be a professional, but the way I wanted to stand up and clap in that moment, but I had to sit there and just be like, that's right, Snudda. That's right. No, I love that answer. But yeah, I agree to what you said. Like, I think Gerlich said she feels like they get better, and then she corrected herself, or at least they stay the same. But I get what she's saying is they bring something different. I really believe that you have 6 players on this team that are Big 12 starters. And you have 2 of them currently coming off the bench because of the structure of her team. I think Sarah is working her way into that conversation. I say Big 12 starters by like, would they start for over half of the Big 12? I think 6 players on our team probably would. Sarah, I don't know, but she could get there. Absolutely. So she's on the fringe of that. But you have 6 for sure, and 2 of them come off, and they just bring something completely different from what the other 2 people bring. And they can play with all of them. So it's not like a 1-for-1 replacement. Like Snudda can come in for Bailey, for Jalen, for Danae. She has even come in for Sarah. I think, the second half we started...
Yeah.
They completely changed the starting lineup. The second half, I think they started the group that was in there during that 16-0 run. So, like, Sydney and Gemma, I think, were out there together. That's 2 point guards, but as we talked about before, Sydney's a scoring guard that can just also play point guard. So she can play alongside Gemma. And then Snudda was out there, Jalen was out there, and Danae were out there. So that was a good lineup as well. So they were definitely mixing in different lineups in this game, even different schemes. Pretty sure, Tyler, I saw a little 1-2-2 zone, maybe a 1-3-1 zone break out there in the third quarter when they had Bird, Jalen, Bailey, Danae, and Gemma maybe out there together. Maybe Snudda was mixed in that group. That's a lot of length. And if we're going to get into foul trouble with the 5 spot, we're trying to play to our strengths. I feel like that this staff is doing a good job this year of trying to figure out what is plan B, what is plan C if Sarah gets in trouble, instead of just trying to force a square peg into a round hole of what they think they wanted to do coming into the year. They're like, well, let's see how this lineup works. Let's see how this scheme works. Okay, maybe if we get into foul trouble come Big 12, maybe our best chance is to actually go to a 1-3-1 zone and run Jalen or Snudda at the 5. Like, maybe we need to figure that out. Maybe Julie and Mimi need to get some minutes here. Like, different things like that. They're trying to figure it out. If Sarah and even Jada's been in foul trouble at times as well, where is that rotation moving? Everybody's fighting for minutes, and I saw that a lot. I can't look at the analytics yet because they won't come out till tomorrow, but I am interested to see the lineup analytics from this game because I thought we got a lot more different combinations, and I don't want to get crazy with that. I like there to be some consistency, and we've seen that. Right. I think that's good for the players, but I also think this group is really good playing with a lot of different combinations is what we've seen. Like Gemma and Sydney, it's their first game together that we get to see, but they've been practicing together for a while. They can play with each other, or they can individually run the offense. We've seen Snudda play the 5 and the 5. We've seen Jalen play the 5. We've seen Bailey and Danae mix around. We've even seen Bailey play some point when Sydney was out. Everybody's kind of mixed and matched, and I haven't seen any clunky, like, oh God, this lineup, what are we doing? Get them out of there this year yet so far. So competition's about to get a lot better, absolutely. But I feel like they're pretty well prepared, which we can talk a little bit more about. But I guess we can show the highlights and then hop into any other thoughts about it. So let's see here. They did practice at 6 a.m. Holly Rowe was there. Got to go to that. Bristow, first of her first 2 baskets of the game were attacking the rim again. Danae Fritz shooting confidently. We love it. She was just short on a couple other threes too tonight. Look, I love get paint touches, turn around, find your shooters. Gemma Nunez is so great at that. Find them in the corner, buckets. Just call them out there. No. Get out of here.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Sit down. Oh, they're talking about the migraine thing right now too. So there you go. Just look at look at this pass. I got a great picture of that, or I didn't. Shout out Erica. Got a great picture of that. Corner threes all day. Corner threes all day. That's where you could beat this defense because they were trapping so hard. It was even more open than most defenses, but we're doing a good job. Bird was great in her minutes in this too. She hit a couple, or at least 1 3, almost had another one go in and out, was facilitating. Look at that trap. Look at this behind the back pass. Whoop!
Oh, that was the play of the game. That was the
popcorn.
Play of the game.
Popcorn.
The arena popped off in that game.
They did. I love that. I mean, the confidence all day. Nobody on this team is scared to shoot. I mean, it's very Sean Marion. Like, you don't understand it, but Adley, that's Danae, but Adley's the same way. It's like, hey, if it works, it works. Second game of the year, 2 of 3 that Danae Fritz has been in double figures. You love to see it. Great pass there from Bird again. And finish from Sarah. Sarah had a good game. If she had just made free throws, she might have been in double figures. I know that makes Tyler want to cry, but she's going to get better. Her form looks good. It just doesn't always go in. I mean, the confidence, Tyler. I could cry.
I'm so glad.
This team is not scared. That's what I love. Look at that. You gonna leave me open? 1 dribble in.
Oh, and the crowd went crazy because she got to 6-7, and they got Raider Red to do the thing. So thank you, Sydney, for that. You got the kids hype.
That is the wildest meme in the history of. Another one. I mean, those glasses.
I know. Cool.
I mean, I hope that the migraines clear up and it's gone, but like, I don't want the glasses to leave.
No, yeah, let's just wear them the entire
forever.
It's our good luck.
It's such a vibe. No, but obviously do whatever you want to, Sydney. It's your life. But,
right. That's
no.
a Holly Rose story right there. When
oh
we
my
get our
god,
bid.
it's great.
The glasses that led us to the bid since 2013.
Well, okay, yeah. I don't know if that will. You know what? Whatever it takes. Whatever I will wear them myself if that's what needs to happen. Yeah, just good. Things that need to be cleaned up. We allowed them to get to the paint at will, which was my least favorite part of the game. Was just it felt like our on-ball defense was a little bit shaky, which has not been an issue this year. And so to see that be something in this one, I was like, okay, that's something on film we're gonna have to clean up because we just can't have that happening, to be honest. I did ask Ehrlich for a little clarification on that post-game because I always want to give them the chance to tell us what the scheme was. And she did say, because I asked her, was that on purpose a little bit to run them off the three-point line at all? And she did say yes, to some extent, because they did shoot over half of their field goal attempts, apparently. Texas State in their previous game were from the three-point line. And so she knew that they wanted to shoot threes, so that they didn't want to allow that to happen. But she also said we let them drive to the lane way too easily. And that did get fixed at halftime. It was a lot better in the second half. So it's one of those things where this team does seem pretty mature. Maybe it's a little bit like soccer to bring them up again, where they can make halftime adjustments this year pretty well and fix it. That needs to get better because you're going to see some guards that are that quick and take us off. I just feel like we were taking some weird angles and like hedging weird. Like it wasn't necessarily, it was just weird. That's why I thought, okay, maybe this is on purpose because it's the way we were guarding them. It was like we were almost inviting them to drive at times. And so that's why I was a little confused. But that seems like they can get that mostly cleaned up. And then rebounding is just going to be the thing this year. It's very important. We need to win the rebounding battle as much as possible. They did eventually win the rebounding battle in this, but they were down for much of the game in that area. The first quarter, we allowed like 7 offensive rebounds or something insane. Like they had 9 total in the first quarter, and they were like one possession where they got like 3 in a row, and I think they called a timeout or they sent in like 3 subs after that. Like Gerlich had seen enough after that. But yeah, like you can't. The offensive rebounding, I think, is the part we can't allow. I think it's gonna. Sometimes we might not be the best offensive rebounding team ourselves. Although shout out Danae Fritz, I feel like she took that a little more personally in this game. She got 3 offensive rebounds. She's very capable of that, and she might be the person on this team that needs to lead that charge. Because I think what we lost, we had some players on past teams that were really good offensive rebounders, but they couldn't really do much else. I think you have a player like Snudda who can go drop 20 now off the bench and do all these other things. But she's getting better in the rebounding category, but that's just not like her innate thing yet. So I think that's something that's going to grow over time, but it's going to have to continue to be a group effort type thing. As long as for the first couple of games we were pretty good defensive rebounding, but this game we really got beat up offensive rebounding for a bit, and that was concerning because they're smaller than us. So that's just a straight up, we're not blocking out, they're fighting harder than us. Like, that's unacceptable type stuff. But we were much better in the second half, and we came back to win the rebounding battle. So, gonna have to bring that against SMU. We all remember last year. Listen, this team doesn't need. There's so many new people that weren't here for that. They're like, "What are you talking about?" But I do think the returners. We'll preview SMU more on Thursday. Will remember that game. And if there's ever a game that you're going to rebound, it's against SMU. Completely different team on their end. Don't know if they have any players from last year on that team back, to be honest, because new coaching staff, new players. The uniform will be the same. And I would be pissed off if I was playing for Texas Tech after getting out rebounded the way we did in that game. So if any time we're going to take a turn on for the better on rebounding, let's just flip the script a little bit on SMU on Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge test for us. Really, this is the game where I think we kind of get more answers as to where the holes are necessarily with the team, more clear answers, and also what our strengths are. So, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity. Obviously, it's going to be exciting. This is the resume building, games that you're going to probably need to help you depending on the success of the Big 12 this year. So, I'm super excited. But yeah, we have a big non-conference slate ahead with these 3 games, power conference teams. So, y'all get out there and support them.
I think it's one of those things where I like the schedule so far because I think NCAA had Big 12 size or power conference size, which is unusual for a mid-major. 6'4" big player that's pretty skilled. So we had a game for him playing for that. We did okay. She almost had a double-double, but we did okay. Second game, UTSA had power conference physicality, absolutely. Toughness, that was what we're going to see in the Big 12. We had to figure out how to play with that. We did that. And I kind of thought Texas State had power conference quickness on the guard level. Like, they had great first steps. Again, the size might not have been there, but you're going to see all 3 of those things now in the next 3 games because you're going to go against power conference things. The toughness, the physicality, I don't know. That's up to each team if they're going to bring that, but we'll just go ahead and assume that'll be there. But you're going to see the size, you're going to see probably the physicality, and you're going to see the quickness. And so it's kind of been like a little training ground in each game. Now, can we put it together and not take a half to do that, or just be there to fight to the end? So I'm excited to see them do it. Yeah, like you said, quad 1, quad 2 win, perhaps. Chance against a couple teams that are power conference are going to have good resumes. So let's go do the damn thing. We'll learn more. I like what we've learned so far. I like the vibes. Just go do it, and hopefully fans show up.
Yeah,
they're going to show up eventually, but why don't you come now and you can say you saw them win, you were there in the beginning. We'll keep yelling at you either way.
Yes.
You know us.
We will.
All right, men's basketball. Did you get to watch this game on
I did.
Friday?
Yes,
okay.
I was at that game.
I'm going to let you take it away. I watched most of it, but there was a lot happening going this weekend, so I didn't get to go to the game. But what do you have for men's basketball? I know it was a little bit of a first half, and the little guy that had the name Nat or whatever was annoying for them. But then we broke open in the second half and got it done.
Yeah.
In summary.
Yeah. I mean, we ended up beating Sam Houston State 98-77. So I mean, we did end up winning by over. Yeah, Bearcats with a K. Bad weekend for Cats, by the way, because we beat the Bearcats, the Cougars, and the Bobcats. So if you're a cat,
dogs, DAWG, greater than cats.
Dogs
We're
are greater than
dogs.
cats. Yeah, basically. But yeah, no, this game, I mean, Sam Houston State, I mean, credit to them. They did have some athletes that were hooping. They think they had a good year last year, so I mean they were doing decent. Still though, I mean it just started off a little bit slow. We were having some defensive struggles, but JT Toppin did
Yes.
make his return debut game, and I mean no doubt was out there doing his thing.
Chill.
31 points.
They could not stop this man. They were
No,
just
they
like
could
foul
not.
him or
Yeah.
triple team him. That was their plan.
Literally, they really didn't have a plan. But JT, I mean, balling out 31 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and then on top of that, you had Christian Anderson with his 18 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals.
Casual.
Donovan Atwell, we knew he came from UNCG, and we said this man is going to shoot threes. And by golly, did he shoot threes? 6 3-pointers, 19
Can he
points
be
and 3
our
rebounds.
McMillan? Can he? I don't know. Those are
Can
big
he?
words, but
Yeah, those
he's
are big
trying to
words.
be.
But I mean, 6 threes, that's a tall task.
That's good. Yeah.
That's very good. Tyree Bryan had 12 points, 7 rebounds, and shot 80% from the field. He looked solid in this. And we did get to see Lawan Watson this game off the bench, had 11 points and 6 rebounds. So we were filling up the stat sheet. We were doing the thing. It just seemed like, and we knew that offense was not going to be a problem for this team. It just seems like there's some few things that we need to figure out defensively and just starting off a little bit stronger and, trying to hold them off on some things. But other than that, I mean, Sam Houston State, they did all they could, but we did pull through at the end. So we'll see. We have a
Mhm.
big game on Tuesday that I think will
That's gonna be
answer a lot
fun.
of questions.
We're picked to lose. I mean, I don't know about the actual betting lines, but like Torvik, we were like a 9-point underdog in that the other day. I don't know if it changed or not. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited for that on Tuesday. But yeah, the defense is not good right now, but it was also pretty bad this time last year as well.
Mhm.
And this team has just not played together a lot. So they're kind of the opposite of women's basketball in that way. That women's basketball has had a lot of time together on the court because of all the time they got
In Germany.
practicing in the summer, and even though I guess Bailey and some of them weren't playing together, they were practicing together. Men's basketball has just been injured, and that's concerning
Hmm.
in its own right. But if they do get back, and you saw 2 of them come back in this, which was good. So yeah, the on-ball defense was pretty horrendous in this. I'm not gonna lie. That has to get better, but again, that was pretty bad this time last year for them, and I think Grant McCaslin's earned that trust from me. So I'll point it out and be like, that's not good, but also like it's November.
Yeah.
And you just have to trust
It's
that
only
they'll
the
get
second
better.
game.
November basketball, I always say November basketball is very similar to March basketball, but for 2 completely different reasons. Both of them are survive and advance, but one is like you're trying to win a championship at that point, and the other one's like, we got a lot to figure out. Let's just not lose to Sam Houston State and, win while learning. Because it's a lot more fun to learn from a win than a loss. So that's where that, and now their season turns up a bit, and we'll find out some more things, but if they go and beat, a top 25 team, they're going to have to play a lot better than they have, for sure. But there's also the element of, like, they don't have a lot of tape on these teams that they played and these mid-majors. They're going to know who Illinois is. And I think Illinois has, like, a 7-footer that can shoot threes, and they're going to have people that can guard JT Top, and they're going to have way more size than we have because we're missing Luke Bamboria still. I don't know how that's going to go, but we're going to need JT and Christian to do his thing, and then Chance's little replacement, Atwell, is going to have to go hit 6 threes again. But Grant usually gets his guys up for big games. But they are the underdog on the road, about a 10-point underdog the last time I checked.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll definitely come out with the intensity. I think the game will be close. I don't expect it to necessarily be by any means a blowout. I just think we're gonna have to bring it. It's gonna probably be a pretty big and hostile crowd. So, they're gonna have to go up against that, but I'm sure they'll have the energy for it. And yeah, I mean, it's just a good test, really. I mean, yeah, if you win it, that's great resume builder, but also you're going to learn from it if it goes the other direction, but it won't be. But if it goes the other direction, we definitely will learn a lot and we'll get better throughout the season.
And they have a ton of resume building opportunities ahead of them in their non-con this year.
Yes, they're all away, but yes.
Yeah, the home schedule is pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie. But the away schedule's I feel like every game away is a tough, top 25 matchup.
And that helps their net a lot.
Yes, yeah. They'll get better as it goes. But yeah, they gotta get healthy is the big thing. But we'll see how Tuesday goes. But I'm excited to watch that. I think we'll learn a lot more. maybe they'll get Luke back for that. I don't know. That would be massive if he could roll in for that. If not, the old freshman Canadian is going to have to keep doing his thing. He's been decent. Not going to lie.
Yeah, he's been doing his thing.
Yeah. So that's men's basketball. Football, Tyler, we kind of talked a lot about it in the opening, the experience of college game day and all that was really cool. Yeah, I got over there, I guess I went to women's basketball like 5 a.m. or whatever it was to see the Holly Rowe come over and speak to the team, which was cool. That in itself, we can talk about that another time, but Girlie talks about it in her post game and we tweeted about it. That was cool. And then I was like, well, I'm up, I'm already here. So I went and parked and just went out over the game day and just kind of roamed around and got pictures of people's signs and kind of interacted with the fans. And just the vibe was really cool from all of that. So I thought they did a great job. Set up. Crowd was best of the year for game day is what the game day people said. They probably say that to everybody, but Lubbock turned out. I mean, it was like a concert out there. Like you could have crowd surfed or something. So that was big time. And then obviously the team went out and got, 29-7 or whatever it was.
Yes.
Just a dominating game from start to finish. There was like one drive or two where I was like, in the very beginning. And then we just took over. I think they muffed a punt. We scored on it. We weren't overly dominant offensively. Left some points on the field again, but our defense is so damn good, Tyler. Like, it's just like a twilight zone that we're living in. It's just like, hey, just don't turn the ball over offense, which they didn't do. No turnovers, and just go get as many points as you can, but they're going to handle business. Like, as long as you score more than 20, you're probably going to win with this defense. That's where I'm at. Just score more than 20 and you'll probably win, which is just mind-blowing for the last time college game day was here. Completely different styles of play, for instance. Just a different world that we're in, but yeah, good stuff. I'll let you take it over from there, but kind of a boring game if I'm being honest, but it was fun because of everything that was around it, and it's always fun to get a top 10 win and give someone their first loss.
Yeah, I mean, we said this game really does set you up good for going to Dallas in December. There's still some more games to be left to be played. I think 2 more to be exact, but I was really pleased to see how well we dominated against the BYU team because that quarterback that they had, as we talked about in our recap or in our preview, like he was really good, and we knew that BYU had the offensive power, but our defense just really kind of just shut everything down. Jacob Rodriguez. Put him for Heisman, guys. 9 tackles. He had 1 interception.
It's literally
a
not a
recovery. Like it's not even a bit. Like he should be considered. They did even some comparison to that Notre Dame guy in 2012, and I mean his numbers are relatively similar to that. So I mean,
yeah, I'll pull it up because I was tagged in that, but Gambling Gauchos, so we have it on our page because we keep getting notifications for it. But yeah, this man, I have to scroll back and find it. So, Manti Te'o had 92 tackles through whatever we're at, through 10 games. Jacob has 91, so 1 less. Woohoo. 5.5 tackles for loss for Manti Te'o, 9.5 for Jacob, 1.5 sacks to 1 sacks, 6 interceptions for Manti Te'o. He wins that category, but Jacob has 3, not really far off. This is where he just dominates. 0 forced fumbles for Manti, 7 forced fumbles for our man Jacob. Manti had 1 forced fumble. The graphic says Jacob has 1 fumble recovery, but Jacob actually has 2 because he got another one in this game. So he has 2 there, and Jacob has a touchdown to 0 for Manti. If Jacob Rodriguez wore the Notre Dame uniform, we wouldn't even need to be having this conversation. He would already be in it. So I do think the only argument you have is that there are some national media like, hey, we're not ignoring your guy, but we just think David Bailey should be in the conversation instead. I'm like, okay, fine. If you want to go David Bailey versus Jacob Rodriguez because David leads the nation in sacks, I can get behind that. Like, it's very 2008 when we had Graham Harrell versus Michael Crabtree, but the defensive version.
Yes.
And I don't know if people remember this. I wasn't even at Texas Tech then, but I saw this stuff going around, and I've seen people post it since then. But like Graham Harrell would come out with like fake attack ads on Crabtree's Heisman campaign, and it was like, Crabtree hates puppies. You should vote for me. Like, I'm like, I need David Bailey and Jacob Rodriguez to recreate those Harrell versus Crabtree. It was just like local stuff that went around. It wasn't national, but someone's posted them online recently, and I'm like, oh, It's like that illustrates the difference in the team, the eras of football, is we have two
Right.
defenders going for the Heisman versus two offensive players going for the Heisman. But yeah, Jacob, I mean, both of them, but it seems to be J-Rod's the one that we're pushing. But I mean, if they want to give David Bailey a trip to New York as well, he's, I mean,
How about
dominating.
it?
He affects the game as well.
Yes. And other people that affected the game on defense as well. Cole Wisniewski had 5
Every-
tackles. John
Hit
Curry,
stick.
yes,
What a guy.
hit stick. Literally did great. John Curry, 4 tackles. Lee Hunter
So
had
good.
the one and only sack in this game for BYU. They were able to
Underrated
kind of,
player for him.
yeah, they were. BYU was kind of able though to. I mean, we gave them some pressure, but I mean, they tended to do decently with that. They just couldn't ever convert into past the third down category. They just kind of struggled to get past
Yeah,
that.
I mean, their quarterback was doing a pretty good job of just getting rid of it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But because he was getting rid of it pretty quick, it'd be like a
It's like
wild throw or a
third
really
and
short
out.
throw.
Hmm.
Or he tried to jump over Cole, and I was like, buddy,
But
bless your heart.
I
I was like, bears are not bunnies, apparently, because you can't, you have
definitely
no
not.
ops. But John Curry, I thought, 4 tackles, but every single one of them was a ridiculous tackle, like in a big moment, like on a third down.
Oh yeah,
He
he
was
did
making
so
good big
good.
plays.
Second game in a row, he's on fire.
He's so good. The score is what it was, but like any game of this level, it was like there were moments where if they had gotten a first down here, or if they don't muff that punt to start the game, like who knows what happened. That's what they're saying, right? But I feel like our defense was so dominant. The meme that I saw going around was Jacob Rodriguez was interviewed by Holly Rowe after the game, and they were like, zero beads of sweat on this man. Right after beating a top 10. It looks like it was like a pregame interview. Like he was like so just unconcerned and like zero work was had during this game, which is not necessarily true, but he did look like he had not played a football game when he was being interviewed post-game. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, I mean it's hilarious. I just think that I'm just really I'm really happy of where our defense is at and that they're able to really kind of keep up when offense isn't really able to get anything going. It was kind of more of like a SEC feel type, game where it's just all defense, and then it just seems like all offense just has to get one or
Special
two
teams as well.
drives. Yeah, special teams as well. Have to get
Right.
1 or 2 drives to really, break it open. And I mean, yeah, special teams. Stone Harrington went 5 for 5 on his field goals. He didn't miss anything, one or extra point. He contributed to 17 points out of that 29. So something he's obviously did his job. He did what he was supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Well, you wish that we could have made it in the end zone in some of those drives that resulted in field goals, but if Stone's willing to come in there and really go ahead and get those points, then points are points, right? We're gonna take them. Morton okay in this 219 yards, 17 for 32, had that one touchdown. Cam Dickey 121 yards and that touchdown. Jacoby had 77. Really, our rushing game is really what kind of helped us get through this, really, to make those conversions to get to that
football
field goal. Yes, football. And then receiving wise, Caleb Douglas had that insane touchdown. I was standing right there on that end zone line,
really?
and I was like, even I couldn't tell if he was in or out, but
it was
they
close.
reviewed it and they said the left foot was in, and I was like, bet, I'll take it. But like,
We'll
I didn't
take
even
it.
know. I was just like, that's insanity. But yeah, he got that
I think it was one of
touchdown.
those that it was gonna stay as whatever the call was on the field, and that was touchdown.
That's what it seemed like. So I'm glad they went that way. And then yeah, I mean, we just kind of did what we did offensively. We just did enough to win the game, and defense just really kept us in it and just really left BYU hopeless.
Yeah, it could have. We left some points on the field, but Morton after the game, because he's a good leader, was saying that he didn't feel like he played very well, and he left some stuff out there. But in his defense, also, we dropped it was the same drive, so it only would have counted as one touchdown. But we dropped back-to-back passes in the end zone right before halftime, so that would have been another touchdown. Corey can drop one, right, and then TC dropped one. Now his was kind of contested, but it hit him in the hands. And as Joey said after the game, those are two players that say they want to play on Sundays. They say they want to be NFL players. They know they have to make those catches. So that's all true. But yeah, Morton, he's a good leader. After the game, he was talking about how he didn't feel like he played well, as well as he can, but he was fighting through it. And then also came out publicly that, because Holly Rowe, I mean, never sleeps, uncovered. I mean, there's been hints about this around circles here locally, but All the team has officially ever said was it was a calf injury. It was more of a calf than anything. Nothing structural. Whatever. She did a whole story on the show or on the broadcast that he has a broken fibula that he's been playing with. A hairline fracture, but still a fracture.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that makes a lot more sense than what we've been being told. But that's fine. So the guy's playing, and listen, you don't want to get on an anatomy lesson for you, but the fibula bone doesn't really do much, but that's still painful. Like, there's been people that have played on a broken fibula before, so he's not out there risking himself in any way. Like, this is nothing. It sounds traumatic, but it's very painful to play with any broken bone, no matter if it's not like a weight-bearing bone. I think that's what it is, more of like a shape bone, and has to do, that's why it's hurting his muscles more. And so that's probably why they were like, it's more about pain tolerance than anything, which is true. But anyway, so it came out that he actually has a broken fibula, or a hairline fracture in his fibula. So credit that guy, just a warrior out there. Coach McGuire said he's the toughest player he has ever coached. I can see that. So, did his job, didn't turn it over, let his defense work. There will come a time where we need Baron Morton to go slinging around, and we'll trust that he's going to do that. But this was not that game.
For sure. Yeah. Well, other than that, football is doing the damn thing. I'm very excited to see where this team is going to, I guess, keep what they're going to keep doing.
Yeah, you could play BYU again in a couple of weeks. BYU's players were saying they expect that to happen, and which I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but I think it was their Roberts or whatever, their receiver, said, and we'll beat them or something. He was quoted as saying, we're going to play them again and we're going to beat them. And everyone's like losing their minds about it. And I'm like, what else do you want him to say? Like, you want to get out there and be like, yeah, we're going to play them again and lose? Like, so I don't take it. I'm like, yeah, good for him.
Gonna get another ass whooping. Like,
our fans are so soft sometimes. Like, what do you think he's supposed to say? yeah, we can't wait to play them again and lose. Like, what? Of course, I can't wait to play with them again and beat them. Like, yes. So they expect to play us again. But both teams, they have a harder road than we do to finish their year. But we definitely can't sleep on anybody. UCF Senior Day this coming week, the last regular season. That's a weird thing to say. And football, last regular season home game this weekend against UCF. We'll talk about that in our Thursday episode. And then they'll go on the road to West Virginia. But two bottom of the conference teams. But UCF gave Houston all they could handle the other night. So
yeah, West Virginia literally gave Houston too much to handle. So
yes, they did. They beat them. So everybody can win at this level on the right day. And we all know that West Virginia is a weird place to play. So any other final thoughts on football? Again, we'll break down their preview of UCF because they can't win without us on Thursday.
Right. What a win. What a time to be a Red Raider. I'm just glad that game day and everything, we're 2-0 when game day comes to town. So
that's true. Can y'all come every week?
Well, actually, for the sanity of workers, I necessarily don't want to be there at 4 in the morning, but if you want to come like a little bit later.
The only thing that would be better is if this would have been a night game. That would have been like perfect, because then everybody could have gone home and like taken a little bit of a nap after game day, and then been really refreshed for the game. I don't know if it would have been better or worse. Like, as y'all might have just
choose a week where there's not 4 basketball games on campus, but
can we have it earlier in the year before basketball starts?
Right.
That'd be great. The only thing crazier would have been if soccer hadn't. They just, like, in the last year or two, they moved their season back a week. Like, normally soccer would have been playing an NCAA tournament game on Friday night. It usually would have been this past Friday.
That would have been Friday.
I would have just been in a coma. Like,
on autopilot, just like, I don't know.
I was kind of on our autopilot anyway by the end of that game. That game was so boring that I was kind of, anyway. But we got to win. A win is never boring, Tyler.
Right.
I like that it was boring. That's wild to be like, oh, a top 10 win, hoorah. But they're doing the damn thing. What are we, 9-1 now? 2 games to go. Let's do it. We already mentioned at the beginning, volleyball dropped a couple this week on their Arizona road trip. 2 really good teams up that way, especially Arizona State. They're first in the Big 12, and they look like it. They handed it to us. We competed at the end of those sets. From what I saw, Arizona, they were really mad at us because we had beaten them the week before, and they played like it. But I think we at least won a set off of Arizona, so we didn't get swept. And we're kind of close towards the end, but just couldn't get it done. But they're back this week, home against West Virginia. Need to beat West Virginia. Be there Wednesday night, 6 p.m. if you want to catch some volleyball. And then I think they're home again on Friday, actually, but we'll talk about that on Thursday.
Yeah, this Wednesday should be a win for them. Like you have
Needs
to
to
beat
be a
West
win,
Virginia.
yeah.
West Virginia's like
I guess
very
they don't
bottom
have
of the
to do
barrel.
anything, but
Yeah.
they should beat them.
Yes,
they're
they should.
they're better. They're at that level talent wise, I would say. So, yeah, get even the other win on Friday. I think is UCF, so they could get 2 wins this week. Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Go team. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share with your friends. All the sports are happening. Get to volleyball Wednesday. Big one. Women's basketball Thursday nights. And then I know men's basketball is home on Friday too, but do me a solid here. And NCAA tournament soccer is likely going to be on Friday night. Stay tuned for the official news on that. You can go to the soccer game at 6 and still make it for like the second half of the basketball game. I did it last time this happened. It's a good time. Who the hell is basketball playing? It's no one important. Go to your soccer team's game. Help them get an NCAA dub. That's what I need y'all to do. Let's use a brain cell. NCAA tournament is greater than a team that I've never heard of. Vibes? All right. For the 5 people that heard that, y'all won't get pissed off. But the rest of them come at me in the comments. It's fine. All right. That's all I got, Tyler. Until next time. Rag 'em.
Rack 'em.